Oh, you
Yeah,
said? Oh, son of a gun, I'll do that.
yeah.
Steph, I want you to go back. I read a great article. You said 2023 was a testing ground for implementation of fundamentals of actions and team in the team that you run.
Mm-hmm.
Is that transferred this year? Talk about that.
Yeah, I think it has. We're able to really build on a foundation of some of the things that we wanted to do a year ago, and now get to second and third options, what the reads are. So it certainly has. With some of the changes that we've had recently, it's getting back to some of the basics, and we used our break to be able to do that. But at the same time, I think we have a little bit of change. Certainly, Brianna Jones back on the floor and ways we utilize her. But we've been able to take that next step, and that's what you want.
How big, because you look at the numbers, and it's obviously 3-point shooting was something that you wanted. How big is Marina? And everybody talks about her 3-point shooting, but knowing her from here, my former broadcast partner, TNT, Doug Collins, used to call it Booger. She's got Booger on defense. She doesn't back down. How does that fit into your plan?
It's huge. Certainly our team, the emphasis for our team is always on the defensive end of the floor. And while she brings a different aspect on the defensive end, she also brings us a little bit more versatility because of her size, her ability to defend multiple positions. We're probably going to require a little bit more on that end than she's used to at this level, certainly. But also what she gives us on the offensive end, the ability to stretch the floor from the 3-point line. But that's not the only thing that she does. I mean, she's a high IQ player. She's really smart. She reads. She has the ability to make tough shots. We get sometimes in situations where we're having to chuck up shots at the end of a shot clock, and we haven't had a person who can get a quality look. And she's somebody who can do that for us. She makes reads. She facilitates incredibly well. And I think with the group that we have around her, we're going to be able to really complement what she does, and she's going to complement our group.
Losing Dejanay Carrington to me is huge because I had her as one of the most improved players, and also losing Tiff is big. How do you make up for that?
We don't. It's just the reality is we have a big hole to fill. Certainly on the defensive end of the floor, those are two of our best one-on-one perimeter defenders. Dejanay sets the tone for us on the defensive end, and she's always checking the opponent's best perimeter player. And so we lose a lot. She's also an energy player. She gets us going, and she makes big plays for us. She's been incredibly consistent. And when we've been able to spell her throughout the course of the game, Tiff's been the one that has come in and given us that same thing. Somebody who gets downhill on the offensive end and somebody who can lock down on the defensive end. So, we're searching a little bit right now to try to find out who that can be for us. Certainly in spells, Veronica Burton can be one of those players. We try to address that with Celeste Taylor, adding Celeste Taylor as well on the defensive end of the floor. So it's gonna be a void, certainly.
Do you feel there's a sense of urgency with this team because they've been so close, and you were so close last year? Do you think there's a sense of urgency with all these last 15 games or whatever's left?
I think so. I think there's been a sense of urgency all year with this group, and understanding that the window's closing. Certainly, and we've been right there, and we need to get over the hump. I think the organization senses it as well, and making a move to bring Marina here to help get over the hump has certainly been an important piece of the puzzle. And now, how quickly can we get Marina, really meshing with our core group is going to be important. So for us, it's how quickly. Certainly, she was able to practice with most of our team, but DB and AT weren't there, right? So now it's integrating with those two, who are our primary focus of what we do on the offensive end of the floor.
Okay, I got one more question then. God, I love this. It's all about me. Does sometimes you catch yourself looking at Dewana going, "Dadgum, how did she do that?"
How is she still doing that?
I told her before. I've told her this for the last 9 years. I watch her, and I just, for somebody that's skinny, she just gets the job done. But from a coaching standpoint and a former player, you just watch her and go, "Wow."
Yeah, I mean, certainly. And, in fact, this year we're watching her and we're going, we're having to move her too much, right? You think about somebody that's 15 years in the league. We were running nearly every action for her. And we need to find a way to help her conserve a little bit, on the offensive end and defensive end. We've been saying this for 2 years, like have a little bit more of a rotation, but we depend so much on her ability to score and to make for others, because she has to be a focal point of opponents' defensive strategies, that we probably move her too much, right? And so for us, we got to figure out a way to make it a little bit easier on her so that she can finish fourth quarter strong, so we can finish the season strong. But you marvel at not just her body type, but the incredible consistency that she's been able to have throughout the course of her career on various teams with various roles. She's been steady.
Question. 2 keys to the game.
Rebounding, certainly. We got to make sure we do a great job on the boards. And offensively, we got to be shot makers. We got to take our shots early in the shot clock. We got to play with pace, and we got to knock them down.
Emily, anything? Brendan?
Steph, just with Celeste, what kind of went into getting her to Dallas on such a quick turnaround from the game last night? And just, I mean, how much of a role do you expect her to be able to have tonight?
Well, she's going to have to be ready to play. Certainly when you're missing 2 elite defensive players, you got to have somebody who can come in and make things difficult for Enrique. And that's what we have to do. And we're going to depend on Celeste. I talked to her when she got here, and I said, you're going to play, so be ready to go. We have been searching for who can be that player for us. Outside of Dejanay with Tiff not quite ready, who can be that player for us? And fortunately for us, Celeste was an option, and she's a player who's been playing in this league, so she's seen the scouting reports of all these teams in the league, so she understands the players, and it just happened to work out.
And just, do you have any update on Liv? Is she going to be able to play or be restricted at all tonight?
Assuming that warm up goes well, she'll be ready to go.
Thanks. Any other questions? All right. Thanks, Coach.
Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Emily.